Hey people, Injured here, 3v3 Faction War. This is SDL Province and Space Marines versus the Eldar. For the Blue Space Marine team, we have triple Force Commanders. First up, Bebop. We have the fellow with the ellipses. And we have Rostam. These guys fight in melee combat with very strong offense, can also tank, disrupt and support. Looks like we got Blood Ravens, the Ultramarines DLC, and the Dark Angels DLC. For the red Eldar team, Noisy is a Warp Spider Exarch, a teleporting hero that fights in ranged combat by default. Some powerful control abilities and great capping and harassment potential going for the VP here. Alongside, DanielGrushin is a Warlock, a melee spellcaster that can leap into combat, some powerful disruption and support. And rounded off the team, Asmonellington, also known as Asmondeus, with a Farseer, support hero that fights in melee combat, some powerful buffs, control abilities and some debuffs too. On the east side against, of course, a Force Commander, we have the Warlock in the mid, and the west side is where Noisy is annoying some scouts from a garrison. There's some Dire Avengers now, howling Banshees for all of the Eldar players. Scouts up here for Bebop, scouts also for Rostam. So maybe Ellipsis is going for double tax. Any shotguns? Yep, shotguns on the way. Banshees on the prowl in the mid, might turn to engage here, DanielGrushin. Banshees are far away though, going for a long flank maybe? I think they are. Shotguns are almost in play. Warlock gets the leap on the Tactical Marines. The Force Commander peeling off some of those Dire Avenger models with the bolt pistol. Here's the Banshee flank. Looks like it's been spotted. And Tactical Marines, I don't think will drop a model, no. Shotgun blast was on the Warlock, got him very low. Meanwhile, west side, Force Commander runs away. Warp Spider was still in the garrison, now ties up the Tactical Marines. These guys need to help. Looks like he's going to drive them off here. No shotguns, so there's not much that can be done about this little blob of Eldar stuff, particularly the Banshees. Just the way to handle it. Back off, try and stay in play, try and get damage on where you can. Don't stand and fight if it's not beneficial. Warlock runs away, they did get the node, and they're going to get the VP. Solid start for Eldar. Do have a Guardian weapon team now, and some Rangers up for Noisy. The Guardian weapon team for Asmon. Here it is, has the Shuriken Cannon by default to suppress stuff in a limited firing arc. Force Commander goes for the decap. Can he get onto the Guardian weapon team? No, doesn't try to. Doesn't know what else is over there lurking. Back to the west side is Bebop. Truck and bolts popped just for show. They won't do anything to the Dire Avengers because they're not heavy infantry. They won't do anything to Eldar in tier 1 actually. Ranger pop takes out a scout model. Don't see anything yet for that Force Commander, I don't think. Nope. We do have Artificer though for the Ellipsis player. With all the dots. And we do see double tax as well. We can use this as a base to push forward, maybe get a power bash. Is there any flamers on the way? Not that I can see. Where is Rostam's tax? They are... Oh, they just took that wreck point back, I think. Banshee's got wrecked by the battle cry. Buffing up all this stuff. Does it stack? Do different battle cries stack? I wonder. Pretty damn good if they do. Could get like a 60% damage buff from 2 Force Commanders swinging those battle cry attacks. On the way, Chainsword and Storm Shield for Ellipsis, the Blood Raven. And what about Rostam? Nothing yet on Rostam's Force Commander. You've got an assault squad on the way though. Bebop already has one up too. Farseer gets stuck into some scouts. Takes out a model. Almost 2. She's got her Ghost Helm for the Mind War. Warlock with the Merciless Switchblade chasing down the Force Commander of Rostam. Also has Champion's Robe. Decent grenade on retreat there. Tactical Marines do not drop a model though. None of the heroes could quite get on them. Warlock trying to finish off that Force Commander. Runs into scouts though, doing good damage at close range with those shotguns. Champion's Robe is up, which means he won't be knocked over by a shotgun blast, but he can suppress him. There we go. Being shot up too, needs to be careful this Warlock. Throws a shield up momentarily, and that's enough, I think, to get away. Banshees are in support now for DanielGrushin. It's the Chainsword and Storm Shield Force Commander with Artificer. Going to go down on retreat maybe. Grenade. Grenade was not attempted there. West side turning blue thanks to Bebop's Tactical Marines. The Force Commander having a good look at this wreck point, and then he caps it. There we go. Just making sure there's no heresy and stuff. Do we see any sergeants for the scouts? We don't, which means these rangers could do some work infiltrating stuff. I imagine we are going to see one from Bebop eventually, especially if the hollow fields start causing real problems with the Banshees getting little ambushes in. Have the aspect of strength. That's the Iron Halo up for the Force Commander. Absorbing all that damage. Scouts getting really close to get their shotgun blast. Sometimes players can get a little bit over-eager, just like narrow-minded in getting a shotgun blast, putting their scouts in risk, keeping the Force Commander in play a little bit too long. Looks like he's going to get one, maybe not. Doesn't get away. Should have just backed off that fight. It wasn't worth throwing your scouts in there to get the shotgun blast. Assault squad in play here. We have 40 Emperor thrown on them from Rostam, boosting their damage by 25% from his global bar. I believe it's 75 red to activate. Typically you'll see it thrown onto anti-vehicle weapons to try and get a vehicle kill. But why not throw it on your assault squad too? Tier 2 for Asmon, the first player to go. West side kicking off again. Warlock's found his way into some Devastators. Force Commander chasing them down. Here come the Banshees. Warlock seems to be operating typically a little bit too far away from his army, but they do eventually show up. Got Rangers here also for DanielGrushin. They retake the west side. Here's the Assault Squad for Bebop. The Devastators were from the Blood Ravens. Power Bash. Banshees can bash power reasonably well with those power weapons. And they got some pew-pew support here from the Eldar stuff. Here is a Bebop to defend. I don't think the Blood Ravens are in a place to do so. Here they come. It's a decent defense. Only lost one generator. Warlock is there though to really mess up the Assault Squad. Look how much damage each attack does, and it burns their energy away, so they can't use that jump defensively to get away. They dropped a model there. Warlock is still going after the massive chunks of damage from that Merciless Witchblade. Still in amongst the Marines, needs to be careful. There's a lot of bolter fire there. Warp Spider also needs to be careful, teleports away. You see the heavy gauge Death Spinner. This seems like Noisy likes to use this in 3v3s. And the improved targeters too, we've seen several times from Noisy's Warp Spiders. Lately, anyway. Force Commanders are pushing. 9 Marines behind them. Banshees can't deal with that. 411 to 432. Meanwhile, towards the mid, Rostam's Dark Angels retreat off, but they have, it seems, cleared away the Banshees. Yet Banshees on the run. Have their Exarch with the spear. Farseer now has the rune armor for the awesome Psychic Storm. And there's Mind War for the Force Commander. Decent amount of damage, as you can see. 40 heavy melee damage. What's going on over here? Seemed like it did more than 40 to his health bar there. Maybe it was the Dire Avengers shooting him. Falcon on the way for Noisy. Tier 2 all around now. Force Commander of Bebop does get away, I think. Yep, is this the... no, it's not the Warp Spider. Just Dire Avengers, I think, in that garrison. Look at the Marine, the mass of them now. They ramp up so fast in Tier 2 Space Marines. As you start to get the team fights, Space Marines are so good in team fights. All these buffs going off from the Force Commanders. Massive bolter fire. You really need to, like, focus your targets across your team. Splitting damage up across multiple Marines and not getting kills isn't that helpful. Although they don't have an apothecary here, so there's going to be no advanced healing for the entire blob later on. Looks like Eldar maybe going to hold here because of this Falcon. Any missile launchers on the way? Not that I can see. So we'll see what their plan is for this Falcon. Missile launchers down to 35 power now, of course. 75, 35, I think. Down from 80-40. Banshees using their shout, suppressing the Force Commander who gets leapt on by the Warlock. They defended very well there, the Eldar. DanielGrushin showing up to reinforce Noisy. Did a good job, and the Falcon made a big difference. Dark Reapers on the field for DanielGrushin will deliver a bunch of damage to the heavy infantry with their, I think they're plasma weapons these days. Dreadnought on the way for Bebop, but that could be wrong. Autark on the east side for Asmon. I like seeing the Autark run around. Force Commander's got the Thunderhammer though. Bad news for any Banshees that may show up. Power Bash perhaps from the Eldar, supported by the Falcon. It has taken a las cannon shot though from here. Surprised the Eldar didn't go after it aggressively, but didn't know what else was lurking. Dreadnought up now for Bebop. Oh, they decapped this wreck point. Look at this. The Dreadnought for the Space Marine starts off as a close combat walker, but it's gone for the Multi-Melter, and that will do huge amounts of damage to all this stuff. It might like explode a Dire Avenger per shot or something. Warlock level 2 now with the Warp Throw. Force Commander runs off. Level 2 also with the Teleporter now. Are we going to see the Dreadnought leading the line thrown in there, perhaps after an Assault Squad jump? It's chosen the Meltar to go after the Falcon most likely first. There's the Melter Bomb. Can the Multi-Melter catch up to it though? Noisy knows to back the hell away. Banshees are going after it. They do have that heavy melee weapon, and because it's got the Multi-Melter, the Dreadnought will no longer have melee resistance. Still has a heavy melee close combat claw there, and as Banshees got wrecked by the special attack. Falcon needs to keep moving. Doesn't want to take shots from that Multi-Melter, especially rear armor shots. Ouch, like that. Look how much damage that did. Multi-Melter got a cost reduction, down to 25 power now. Taking some damage. The Falcon does have some anti-vehicle weaponry. Can they deal with this right here, right now? Might be a big mistake here from Bebop. Single-mindedly going after the Falcon and maybe sacrificing the Dreadnought in the process. Can they even get... No, they can't even get the Falcon. Well played, Noisy, to keep this out of range for most of it. And down goes the Dreadnought. They dealt with it. That's put Bebop quite far behind now. Just has his tier 1 army, basically. Eldar looking quite strong. East side, Asmon pushing against Rostam. That was a Psychic Storm. Grenade from the Scouts, which I think mostly missed. We've got some Stone Guard veterans, though, with their Hellfire rounds loaded in. This is first company Tactical Marines that can change their ammo to combat all targets. Meanwhile, west side, Scouts and the Force Commander run off. This guy got stunned by something. What did he get stunned by? Oh, it was the heavy gauge filament. Good warp throw. The tooltip wrong there. It doesn't knock you down. It's a stun. The knockdown caused a lot of problems with things trying to retreat, which wasn't intended behavior. It's not meant to prevent you from retreating. Banshees and the Autark finding their way in. Still doing some good work despite the Thunderhammer Force Commander here. Was that the battle cry just used? It was. Battle cry's going off. They got hit by a decent Merciless too. Banshees got wrecked. Teleports in onto the Guardian Weapon team. His special attack does much less damage these days with the Thunderhammer. But it's mainly there... The idea is it's mainly there for disruption, not demolishing entire backlines in terms of damage. Sacred Standard up for Ellipsis, Blood Raven guy. So like a full-on support Force Commander, which was quite cool to see. Constant damage buff from the Sacred Standard and a defense buff potentially from the Chainsword, though you need energy to activate it. Banshees have found some Tactical Marines, their favourite things to pounce on. Shotgun Blast saved another model there, I think. Warlock throws out the Destructor. And they are defending this side every time. Every time the Space Marines come in, they really need to gather up for a one big push here. There's the Whirlwind that might help approach. That long-range disruption. And a tank on the field for the Blood Raven Force Commander. It's certainly helpful to have a tank. Can they do anything about this, really? Maybe they can get the Banshees on it. Falcon's certainly under threat. Shield goes up, though. Makes the Falcon actually quite tough. There's a tier 3 upgrade for the Falcon. Avatar of Cain on the way for Asmon. And tier 3 also for Rostam. Las Cannon trying to get a shot in. There's a Tempest Barrage from the Dark Reapers, and Banshees getting really well timed push there by DanielGrushin from the Banshees. Really well done. Lured them in, made them set up, and then went in for a kill and wiped out the Las Cannon. Done a great job picking battles so far, the Eldar. Backing off when they need to, pushing in when they need to. They are going to get the VP back. The Force Commander went down there. Whirlwind still in play. Tank still in play, of course. Must be racking up some decent kills here, this thing. Kept the autocannon for now because it's good at dealing with infantry, better than the Las Cannon. Las Cannon's more focused on large targets, which would be better for the Falcon. But there's a lot of stuff to kill. Eldar continue to look strong. Look how much resources DanielGrushin has. They might be saving up for their own avatar here. Oh, indeed. That's what he just said in chat. Fire Prism for Noisy. Used the Falcon very well so far, into level 2 with it too. Now the Whirlwind does have a hunter-killer missile, which can target vehicles and do a fair chunk of damage too from long range, and do have missile launch attacks and some Terminators now for the Bloodraven Force Commander. Bebop lost one of the scouts along the way trying to get this cap, I guess. Lots of scout bodies here. Maybe the missile launcher should have shown up a little bit earlier to put pressure on the Falcon. Really went all in on that multi-motor Dreadnought. It didn't pay off at all. Fire Prism almost out. Avatar is out for Asmon. Where is it though? It's moving its way up the east side. Tank doing good work now to the Falcon. Missile launcher gets a shot. Maybe they can get this done here. Oh, tanks are in trouble though. Overcommitted to it did Bebop. And couldn't get it and lost the tanks, and the Falcon survives. Maybe the... yeah, I feel like the tank should have pushed a bit more forward there. They don't have any anti-vehicle units aside from the Banshees and the Falcon itself. And now the Fire Prism, I suppose, but I think it had time to push up and maybe get those last 2 shots in. But they played it safer, which is often the way to go in Dawn of War 2. Especially in a 3v3. DanielGrushin needs around about 200-ish requisition to get the avatar, if that's what they're still going for. Fire Prism getting shots in. Tank needs to be way more careful now. Look at the damage it's taken. Somehow that was a rear armor hit. Missile barrage from the Terminators. Look how much damage that did. Only 3 of the missiles hit, and it took almost half the health. And there's the Hunter Killer. Look at that. Look at that range. Now needs repairs. If that was on rear armor, I think that would have destroyed the Fire Prism. 230 to 338, 2-to-1 cap for the Space Marines. They did take back the west side. Well done, fellas. Use that tank to push forward, the Whirlwind to disrupt, and the Terminator is making a big difference here, as you'd expect. Here comes another Fire Prism from Noisy. DanielGrushin does get the avatar. Did they wait too long for that? Should they have got a couple of Fire Prisms up? We'll see what this avatar can do, I suppose. Asmon's avatar's in the mid now. Got some Deathwing Terminators for Rostam. Going for Lightning Claws, which will rip through the avatar and all of this stuff very, very effectively. It's power melee damage with a splash on it. Super effective at taking on squads. But the avatar super doesn't like it either with its super heavy infantry armor. This guy passively buffs nearby allied infantry and is pretty damn effective in close combat too. Halfway there for DanielGrushin's avatar. 230 to 309. Here comes Asmon. We'll see if Rostam responds. Rostam is responding with a flank. There's the Wrath of Cain from the avatar. Looks like it's only going to hit some tactical marines. Takes so long to go off that thing. Lightning Claw Terminators are there, ready to shred Eldar. Need to be so careful of those guys. Maybe we should have massed Dark Creepers or something. Down goes that Shuriken Cannon. Don't see any D cannons. I do see some Seer Council from Asmon. And those guys are super effective against heavy and super heavy infantry, but they cannot stand against Lightning Claw Terminators. Maybe with a bunch of support they could. But it's a risky fight for those guys. 223 to 309. Got a strong Eldar backline here. Can they do some work against these Terminators? Not sure if they've used their teleport yet. Looks like they're going... Oh, there it is. There's the teleport away. They didn't want to take on 2 avatars with Farseer and Warlock support and Fire Prisms and all this stuff. Space Marines are getting the west side back. Oh, levitation from the Farseer. Control abilities are always super effective against Terminators because they can't retreat out of them. Getting some good damage on them now. Can they get a model? They can get a model. Autark barely gets away there. They're trying to jump after her, are they? Or are they going for the VP? I think they were trying to go after her. Here's some Seer Council. And with only 2 Terminators standing, they can come in and do a whole bunch of damage here. There's another... Oh, that's the Psychic Storm, sorry. I thought that was the Levitation Field again. Good work from the Farseer. Meanwhile, west side is turning red. Arse terms, says Asmon. 213 to 309. Another Fire Prism for Noisy. Looks like the Arse terms, the Assault Terminators, are getting away. A bit of a trek back to base though. There's the remains of the tank. Space Marines need to gear up for another push, but Eldar held their ground, and look what they've got here. Those losses from Bebop starting to add up for the red team. I mean, when you've got Terminators, you've got a chance though, right? Trying to get a little power bash here was Asmon. Looks like they got 1 generator and a node, maybe. Pushing now are the Space Marines. Are they getting plasma guns for the Avatar? No, no weapon upgrades for the Tactical Marines of the Blood Ravens. I feel like the missile launcher and the plasma gun maybe could have done some work here and there, but they wanted the Terminators, of course. Terminators aren't free. Don't just ask for them. To save your monies. Bebop's Terminators trying to escape the wrath of the Banshees. Oh, they do have their teleport, they'll be okay. Whirlwind can't fire while it's moving. Needs to set up a little bit. Oh, there's the Hunter Killer for the Avatar. And then the Disruption. Decent shot there. Noisy does have enough for a nuke, so does Asmon. Space Marine's going to find this so tough to come back. I think 170 to 309. Is Asmon going to start putting pressure on the VP a bit more concertedly? Maybe. Avatar's certainly striding forward with Seer Council alongside. That's a nasty combo. Was that a Spirit Stone's heal from the Farseer? It was. Swapped her Ghost Helm for some stones. Assault Terminators with claws are always a massive threat though. She can use the Levitation Field perhaps and set up a bunch of attacks on them without answer. 3 Fire Prisms now for Noisy. We have a Terminator Force Commander for Bebop. Are they going for claws? They are going for claws. Surprised we didn't see the Assault Terminators for the other 2 Force Commanders, I suppose. Is that an Eldritch? That is an Eldritch. It's a strange place to put it. Maybe they expected the Terminators to teleport out. Down go those guys. Terminator Force Commander now trying to get some work done, but it's going to be tough. Messed up the Banshees. Can they kill the Banshees? Almost. Almost. As Rostam said there in chat, having to counter so many different types of threat is difficult. Especially when you have a shaky mid-game like Bebop did and lost that Dreadnought and some other things here and there. Just those little misplays, like trying to push the Dreadnought after the Falcon when the kill was just not on, and also trying to push those tacks after the Falcon. Big losses. Adding up. Looks like the Eldar have it, but we'll see. 2 Force Commanders are down. And the Eldar are now marching on to the natural. The map is very red. There's a big Wrath of Cain. Didn't hear anything. We have a tank from Rostam. Oh, they teleported away from the levitation field. She's not doing her animation. Just standing there menacingly. Oh, there's for the Emperor on the Lightning Claw Terminators. That is nasty. The Seer Council couldn't stay there even for a second with 40 Emperor on them. Asmon just trying to avoid them now until this buff wears off. There it is, it's gone. Do have some Plasma Gun Tactical Marines now. They'll do good against the Avatar. But they're just getting pushed everywhere, the Space Marines. Not often that the Eldar get wins over Space Marines in these faction wars. Since I typically only cast the faction wars that are relatively long, usually that means these Space Marines have done well. What is this thing? Oh, it's a warp thrower. They be killing. Level 5 Warlock here. We have a level 4 Warp Spider and a level 5 Farseer. Are they going to even bother decapping the VP? Down to 50. The blue team. There's the GG. Might just see a concede here. There it is. It was a GG. Eldar played it superbly well. Some losses from Bebop, but the other force commanders stayed pretty strong. Maybe they should have focused the mid a little bit more once the Eldar was so strong on the west side, but it's hard to say. A level 5 force commander, level 3 force commander, and a Terminator force commander. There you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Big thanks to the players for taking part, and for Impregnable, of course, for organising the Faction War event. I'll see you next time.